Hello everyone, welcome back to Fallout Wasteland Warfare. We are up to tutorial number 2, which is called Fort Davies, and as you can probably tell by the battlefield you see before you, this one is introducing searchables. Specifically, I think they are actually just called searchables, these orange ones, but the blue ones are investigation icons, and they work a bit different in that you go by the view distance of your model, and if they can see them, then you know what it is. And if you were playing a normal battle against another person, you'd only show to yourself, you flip it to yourself, but because we're playing the AI, we'll just flip over. So, that's what we're doing. The goal here is to get as much loot, or more loot, as possible, compared to how much the super mutants get, or if one team is wiped out, the other team automatically wins. Let's look at who's going to be taking part in the teams. So if only a slight change here is the survivors being led by the day 1 sole survivor. Again, we're just using the lone survivor miniature because it's painted. Still just got a 10mm pistol. Dogmeat with his dog bite. And then 2 settlers. They've had an upgrade though. For this tutorial scenario, they have been equipped with assault rifles. So the range isn't quite as good, but the damage is better. Or the potential damage is better. Because they can roll some extra black dice. So yeah, they are a unit. They have the same stat card, individual actions, etc. And the super mutants. Now here's a bit of a problem that I mentioned when we were doing tutorial 1. There's not enough super mutants in the core box to do as the tutorial scenario asks, because the tutorial scenario wants the brute and 3 super mutants in a unit armed with hunting rifles this time, which is what the settlers had last time. Can't do that, so putting in a mutant hound just to even things up a bit. The mutant hound just has mutant dog bite, essentially just the mutant version of what Dogmeat has. Sledgehammer, hunting rifles, and boards, I think. Yes, boards. So that is the 2 teams back at deployment. So we're deployed and set up. One survivor and, one settler and the sole survivor are over here. Dogmeat and the other settler are over here. You might also have noticed on the side of the table we have stranger, creature and danger cards. That's because searchables can have a danger and dangers can lead to creatures. I don't think the scenario uses strangers, but they're there just in case. And there's a big deck of shuffled items. The tutorial scenario specifies which items in terms of weapons and consumables are in this list. Then it just says throw in all the rest of like the clothing and junk. So it's quite thick. Plus I do have the Institute and Raider cards, so there might be more there than normal. These 4 searchables are because 4 of the investigation markers are searchables, so they're there to be swapped over once we discover which they are. Other than that, super mutant, brute and hound, 1 super mutant with a hunting rifle this time, and then the other one is over there. Apologies for stretching over the table. The survivors will be going first, and our goal here is to learn about how these searchables work. Let's get started. So the sole survivor was the first activation, moved up twice with yellow to get in contact with this searchable here. So the way searchables work is if you're in base to base with one before or after any of your actions, you can see what it is. You don't need an action to do it. So he ended his second action in base to base. The reason it's clarified like that is so you can't stop partway through a move, search and keep moving, basically. So there's 2 things we have to do here because he's also in range to see some investigation icons. But first let's flip this and see what it is. These were randomized. So that is a danger, but then there's an item as well, I believe that means. So I will look up how to do a danger in a second. In terms of the sole survivor, his observation range, I believe that means it's black, because for instance the settlers are green. So within black distance, he can see 3 investigation icons. And again, because we're just playing the AI, we can just flip them. That's a number 1, a number 3, and a searchable. I don't remember for the purposes of the objective what the numbers mean, but we know there's a searchable over there. So I'll check that, and then also how dangers and skill checks for loot works. Alright, rules have been double checked. So these numbered icons for the purposes of the tutorial mean it's a weapon locker. So there's 4 weapon lockers hidden in these investigation icons. We've seen 2 of them. That's just an item sitting on the ground. The way the weapon lockers work is if you're the first person to get next to it, activate it, you draw 2 weapons from the item pool and then shuffle the deck, and you get to keep both, I think. It's basically a way to get ahead in terms of who has the most loot. This icon, you draw a danger card and resolve it, then you draw an item. That's what that means. So, again, these have been shuffled, so let's see what the first danger is. Containment leak, is that in? There we go, I think that's in focus. Gas can be heard leaking from somewhere, can you find it quick enough? Test perception to find it and shut it off. Okay. So for Sole Survivor's perception is... Oh, apologies for the beeping in the background. I think there's a bin lorry. Perception is 5. That would be an 8, so that would be a fail. A fail is a range 2 radiation burst plus yellow. I'm not sure why plus yellow. So it would ignore armor, but he doesn't have any radiation armor. Oh no, actually, Soul Survivor does have 1 radiation armor, but unfortunately it's been broken. So that's actually a good time to talk about how radiation works. Radiation, if you have a stim pack or whatever, you can't heal it. You need rad away. So, and also if you have damage already on your character and take radiation damage, you flip it over because it, first of all, it uses up existing damage before adding new. So that is 1 radiation damage, sadly, to the Soul Survivor. There's no other criteria on that card. But he does get an item, and he has found himself a Vault 111 jumpsuit. Which, oh, can get in focus, please. Camera. There we are. +1 energy and rad resist. Not usable by dogs or super mutants. Wow, racist. Alright, well, the Soul Survivor is now wearing a Vault 111 jumpsuit. And that's his activation. So first up for the AI was the Super Mutant Brute, determined by random chance. He just moved up twice because he got attack. It did raise a bit of an issue with investigation markers if you're playing against the AI. Like, he's obviously within distance to see that one and maybe that one. I'm not sure what his distance is offhand. It's green, so it would be that one as well. Do they flip over and give me the information? I'm going to say that I don't, and if the Super Mutant just decides to get objective and go for it, so be it. We'll all find out what it is together. But I'm not sure how you handle that. And he's ignoring these because he didn't roll for objective. The objective is loot, but he got attack. I can't remember if I specifically mentioned, but if no one is wiped out by turn 4, that's the point at which the game ends and loot is added up. Obviously we've got the jumpsuit so far, so it's 1-0. You don't count starting gear. But back over to the survivors. The settler down here activated move forwards twice in order to touch. This is searchable and he has activated it. Also he has sightline green, so he can see this investigation marker, which we now know is a weapon locker and will give 2 weapons. Also if the weapons in the available items are exhausted, I think it just says you have to take an item. I don't remember now, but either way, hopefully it won't come to that. So the objective he found is a computer, and if he does a successful skill check, he gets an item. What is the computer skill of these settlers? 4. Not great. He got a 9. Double not great. So I don't know if that means you can recheck next turn. I'll look into that after we do the next Super Mutant turn. One of the Super Mutants activated and he got objective, so he moved up twice and is now checking this, which is just straight up an item. So typically I need to come around the other end of the table, apologies. We'll come around here and grab that Super Mutant, an item, and he has found himself a combat rifle. There we are. I don't know if that's better or worse than his hunting rifle. Either way, he's got it on his person now, so that's 1 to the Super Mutants. Also, the check there on the computer can indeed be rechecked again, either by the same character on the next activation or someone else, but it can be reattempted until a success is obtained. Alright, back over to the survivors. Dogmeat was the next activation, and I'm going to have to pass it over to people who know better about this, because I'm not 100% sure. Because it doesn't say Dogmeat can't search or take items. He obviously just can't do skill checks because nothing on his card says like check for lockpicks or check for computer stuff, because obviously dogs don't know computing. So Dogmeat moved up twice, he's got good movement. He is in base to base with this. Okay. So it is another computer. The glare is a bit brighter than on the screen than it is for me for some reason. It's a computer, and it looks like if you fail you get a danger and an item. If you succeed you get an item. Dogmeat obviously can't do anything with it, so he's just going to have to stay there. But I think it's right that he can search. Also he has good detection range, so he can flip this over. It's an item. Flip that over. It's an item. I think he's getting blocked by the corner of this though to see that. No, I'll say he can see it because the Super Mutant can see it as well. And that's another weapon locker, but that's all weapon lockers already found because there's 4 of them. So that means that investigation icon, which I guess you could technically argue he should have been able to see because he can see over the stone here. I mean, we know what it is, it's another item. So we know where everything is. But some of the orange icons could be dangers. So now it's over to the Super Mutant Hound or the other Super Mutant. The other Super Mutant activated and he decided he wanted to do the objective, so he moved across the crater, got into his search. Well, I flipped it ahead of time just to know what he had to check. It is a lockpick check, which is perception. He has a perception of 4. Let's see if he succeeds. He does not. So that stays there and can be reattempted either by him or someone else in the future. He moved up twice though, so that is his turn. So we're just going to cover the last two activations of the first battle round because they were quick movements. The Settler just moved up twice behind the Sole Survivor there, looking to back him up, going after these weapon lockers over here. The Mutant Hound decided to attack recklessly, so he just moved forwards twice, put him right smack dab in the middle of the open there, in line of sight of that Survivor, and Dogmeat can probably charge as well. But that's as things stand. The Super Mutants looted one bit of gear. The Survivors looted one bit of gear, thanks to failed skill checks on both sides, so now we start this whole thing over again. In Battle Round 2, still not doing event cards, might bring them in Tutorial 3. So to get Battle Round 2 started, this Settler is going to activate and he's going to fire twice at the Mutant Hound that's fast approaching rather aggressively. So the Assault Rifle is stronger than the Hunting Rifle, but the range is worse. So the Mutant Hound is just outside of red, so sadly not getting a green die thrown in, but it is a black die for potential extra damage. We are looking for 6 or under on the first shot. That would be a 5 plus 2 extra damage. Okay, well, that's a hit. So the Hound has 1 physical armor. Let's see if he can negate one of it. He does not. 2 base damage on the Assault Rifle, plus 2 on the black die. That's 4 damage. How much health does a Hound have? The Hound has 5 health. So after the first shot, he's got 1 HP remaining. There's 2 damage pips for you. And here's the second attempt. Instant failure. So the Hound is going to live, but because his action is ended and he's in base to base with that terminal and no one is attacking him, I believe he still gets to do a free chance again to try and activate it, so let's do it. 4. Exclamation mark is a success of 1. He has passed, that terminal has been hacked, and he is lifted from the wasteland a dog bandana for dogs. He's holding on to it. He'll give it to Dogmeat when he can, I guess. Plus 1 endurance. Not too bad. Alright, let's see which one of the AI is activating first. The Super Mutant Brute was the next to activate via random chance, and he wants to attack recklessly, so he has charged Dogmeat with his first action, and his second action is to roll a bunch of dice. So we've got the base for the Sledgehammer is 2 yellow, black for being strength 7+, and throwing in a green for extra hit chance on the attack. So the Super Mutant Brute requires a 8. Or under. It's very hard for him to miss this. He got an 8, it becomes a 7. Bad results on the rest of the dice though, so it's just base damage of a Sledgehammer, which is 2. Dogmeat has 2 armor, I believe, so he has a chance to negate all of it, amazingly. He did not. Dogmeat has taken 2 damage. And that is the Brute's whole turn, because his first action was charging, and because he's engaged, he can't attempt the terminal, even though he's probably too stupid to do it anyway. We're staying over that end of the table because Dogmeat wants revenge. 2 dog bites into the Brute. We are looking for 8s or under. Exclamation mark is a success. If he was heroic, he would have got a crit point. Ooh, so it's negated 1 of the 3 armor the Brute has and does 2 extra damage. Wait, is that 2 extra damage? No, that's not damage, that's stars. Does stars do anything on dog bite? It does, it gives him a quick action, which he can use to move, charge, or ready himself. It's probably not going to be relevant. Either way though, that's still the base damage of Dogbite, which is 2. Brute has 2 armor left, thanks to the 1 negate. He failed, so that's 2 damage to the Brute. It always seems like these two end up slugging at each other. Other bite. 8s or under. Exclamation mark again. 2 crits, it would have became -1, plus a -3. No, that was a hit and a half. Cola Bottle and Star, so the Star would have been a quick action again. The Cola Ball is, it removes the Overwatch equivalent on the enemy if he had any. Full 3 armor this time. And he rolled a 4 again, he took 2 more damage. I don't have another number 2 here, so it's going to have to be 2 single ones for now. So that Brute's on half health, but Dogmeat's going to have to stay where he is. The Mutant Hound was next, and he opted to charge in recklessly on it, even though he's almost dead. The AI tree changes based on how much HP it has left, but it gets more aggressive as it gets close to death, it seems like. So he charged, and he is going to use his Mutant Hound Bite with extra accuracy. He is looking for a 6 or under, I believe it was. And that's a success on a crit. With what else we got? Well, a -2, 1 armor break, Cola Bottle and Star. Does his Mutant Bite do anything that... No, it does. The Star would give him a quick action, and the Cola Ball would have removed perception on him if he had it. He can also, if he'd gotten the nuke symbol, break someone's limb like Dogmeat did the last time we were playing. So either way, base damage of 2 on his Mutant Hound Bite, The settlers have 1 armor. Let's see if we can do it. Is that cocked? It was cocked. I moved the scenery and it went to 1. So he took 1 damage from the Mutant Hound bite. And he can't retaliate. So, and the Mutant Hound can't use the... No, he can't use quick actions to attack. So, back to the survivors. The sole survivor activated, moved up, and has touched his weapon locker. So, from the item pile, drew the first 2 weapons, which were a baseball bat and a combat shotgun. Shuffled item deck. This locker is now gone. Those weapons are in his possession. Shotgun is really good, but just out of range if he wants to shoot from where he's standing rather than using his other action on a move. So he's going to fire his 10mm pistol at the super mutant that's sitting over there by the computer. Remember, this is day 1 survivor, so he's not as good statted. He needs a 5 or under. He got an 8, which is a shame because it would have done 2 extra damage. So his other action is wasted, and that's his turn. But he did get 2 loot that is now on his person. This super mutant here is activating next, and he got attack recklessly, so he is going to shoot his hunting rifle into this melee over here, which means he gets a +2 to his skill. This is what he's rolling. Hunting rifles are what the settlers had last time, which I think I mentioned, so they're pretty accurate. So his skill, it's usually 4, but it's currently 6. First shot, and then we have to roll to see who is actually hitting. So that is a 7, but it gets brought down to exactly what he needed as a 6. It negates 1 armor and does 1 extra damage. However, we have to split this so that, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4. So he is hitting the settler. Negated the 1 armor he has, does 1 extra damage. So that is 3 damage in total, and that is that settler dead, because he has 1 damage on him. 3 extra is enough to kill him. So that means his other action to attack recklessly, he can't see anybody, so I guess he would just move up to get closer to his quarry. Wow, that took a bad swing for the worst. So while I was working out how we're going to get out of this sticky situation, I also looked into how death works in the game, just in case the settler who died should have dropped the loot he picked up, because he picked up the dog bandana. In terms of the game, it says that when a character is removed, they're technically not dead, they're passing out from their wounds, they're no longer able to take part in combat, but they're not actually dead. And that's so that if you're playing like a campaign or link scenarios, you don't lose someone forever, unless you choose to, I suppose. Anyway, so I believe he holds on to his gear, is along the short of it. So his settler moved up, and because she is quite accurate but also weak, she is taking a shot at the super mutant up there. That means it's just a black die on top of her normal one. We're looking for 6. That's a fail. It would have done extra damage as well. This is not going well. I think the AI might win here. So it's just the super mutant she was taking a shot at to go to end the turn, I believe. So the remaining super mutant for battle round 2 got a mixed result on the blue die. I think this was it. So cola bottle plus star, which means he's going to do an objective and attack. So first things first, he's going to try and do that. Although actually I guess he could do both, because interacting with that isn't an action. But either way, he can attempt this at least once. So his computer skill is... Oh, he doesn't lockpick. He has a investigation icon, but I don't think that's the same as a lockpick skill. No, that must be it. It must be. Does magnifying glass mean lock? Because I don't see any on... maybe it doesn't actually, because the sole survivor has the lock. I don't think he can pick that. If I'm wrong about that, let me know, but I just took a quick glance at everybody's cards, and the only one who has the lockpick icon is the sole survivor. Like, the settlers don't have it either, obviously Dogmeat doesn't. The super mutants can investigate, but they can't use computers either. No wonder, they've got stronger guns. Alright, in that case he's just taking 2 pot shots at the sole survivor. It's close range, so it's just 2 yellow dice for the hunting rifle, don't get the extra added green dice. He needs 4s. First shot, it hits. It negates 2 of the sole survivor's armor. Sole survivor has 1 armor. That would be a 2. So the full damage goes through, so that's 2 damage on the first shot. Second shot, needing 4s. That's a miss. 7, 6, 5. Yeah. So the second shot missed, but he did manage to do 2 damage to the sole survivor, and that takes us to the end of battle round 2, so everything begins again. So to get battle round 3 started, the sole survivor moved up yellow and has searched this weapon locker, and he found a laser pistol and a pipe pistol this time. For his other action, he's using the combat shotgun he got last turn, because I think you can use gear you find instantly, right? Oh, that reminds me, he had the jumpsuit. Did the jumpsuit... It would have given him... No, it wouldn't have given him any more physical armor, so he still would have taken the damage. He's on half health, incidentally. So he's using the combat shotgun. So that's just 2 black dice for potentially lots of damage. And he's looking for 6 or under for this, or 5. 5 or under. He got 5, it becomes a 4, it does 1 extra damage. The base damage on a combat shotgun is 2, so that is 3 damage. Bog standard super mutants have 1 armor, which did not block it, so that super mutant has taken 3 damage and he has 3 health remaining. The super mutant who got shot at acted next, and he clearly got the wind put up him because he decided to go to objectives instead of shoot. So he moved twice next to this. Now this is one of the ones that was an investigation marker that got swapped over, so that gets removed, and one of the 4 that got put aside, these have been randomized, I don't know what they are, let's just say this one is now what he's found over here, and it's nothing. So thankfully he has found nothing, because he couldn't do that one again, remember, because he doesn't have the lockpicking skill, so he can't do anything with that. So he basically wasted his turn, and that's good for the survivors because they are dropping like flies. Poor old Dogmeat is kind of off on his own on this side of the table, and there is only 1 turn left after this, so the survivors are going to win if I can just get more loot without them all getting wiped out. Dogmeat just has to survive and go down swinging. So he's going to take 2 swings with his dog bite at the brute. He is needing 8 or... oh, did I do 5 last time? Because if I did, I looked at the wrong thing. It's 8 or under. I'm almost certain I did because I looked at the fist icon, but it's actually the knife because Dogbite has a knife. Either way, he needed 8 or under, so he definitely got it. He negated 1 armor, and what does that do? That just removes reactions. So the brute has 2 armor left against physical. He did not block it. He takes full damage, which is 2. So 2 extra damage from the first bite. He has 2 health remaining. This is Dogmeat's chance. Go down swinging, big guy. Be the best doggo. He needed 8 or under, so he got it. It actually became 7. That again just removes reaction and negated 1 armor. 2 armor left on the brute. He didn't block it. That is 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm pretty sure that's the brute dead. Hang on. The brute has 8 HP. Dogmeat. Supreme victory. Quack. For the AI's turn, the mutant hound wants revenge for its master going down, so it charged into Dogmeat and is now going to bite. There's a dog fight going on. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. Anyway, this is a 6 or under that the hound needs. He got exactly a 6. It became a 5 anyway. Double cola bottle on his bite removes reaction, so that's irrelevant. Negates 1 of Dogmeat's armor and does 1 extra damage. Dogmeat's armor is 2, so he's down to 1. Which he does actually block. So he negates the bonus damage essentially, so that's forgotten. It's just the base damage, which is 2. So he's up to 4 damage on him. And is still kicking, which is very good for the sole survivor and the remaining settler. So the settler down here activated, moved twice, couldn't get the base to fit in between these two obviously, so she's checking this one. Let's see what it is. It is a perception check, which I believe she can do. It's not a lockpick or a terminal. She can indeed. It's a skill check on 4. If she fails, she has to do a danger but gets an item. If she succeeds, she just gets an item. Okay? 6 or under. That would be a 7, so that would be a fail. So she gets a danger card. Oh goody. I wish we'd drawn more of these just to see what could happen. So, I'm not reading it until it's in focus for you. I'm not looking past the camera. I refuse. Get in focus. Radiation burst. Test endurance. If you succeed, 1 radiation damage. If you fail, 2 radiation damage. Okay. Endurance on a settler is 4. She succeeded, so she takes 1 radiation damage and she gets an item. And the item is a iguana bits. There. So you can discard it to heal 2, but then you get 1 radiation damage. Or if you cook it, it can heal 4. I don't know how cooking food works. Either way, probably don't want to use it because it's 1 more point towards having more loot and the victory. So now, there's 1 super mutant left to go because the brute didn't get a turn. So the last super mutant for the penultimate battle round is wanting to be aggressive, not go for objectives. So he is shooting at the sole survivor with his hunting rifle twice at long range. So it's 2 yellow, 2 green. But there is a little bit of cover intervening. Can't see the full base. So the sole survivor is getting cover, which is a -2 to his skill. So instead of having to get 4, he needs 2. But he has a green accuracy dice, so that's a 6. Oh, that would have been so bad if it went through. It would have negated all his armor. It didn't though. So shot number 2. 8. And again, it would have been amazing if he'd actually hit. Didn't even need the minus, neither shot would have went through. Alright, well that takes us to the end of battle round 3. Obviously looking like the survivors are going to pull out a win based on the scenario, which is get the most loot. However, if they all die, the super mutants still win. But let's see what happens at the end of round 4. So to get battle round 4, the last battle round started, the sole survivor is activating. His second action, I can talk, I promise. His second action is going to be to move, but his first action is he's going to take a pot shot with a 10mm pistol at that super mutant there. Here's the dice. Let's see if he can manage it. 5 or under. That is a 9, but it becomes an 8, so no. So first action is a failure. His second action is to move into base to base, and he is going to try and do a, just put his damage there, a lockpick check. So his lockpick skill, 6 or under. That doesn't sound too implausible. Never mind, I rolled an 8. Moving on to Super Mutant. So the Super Mutant Hound was randomly selected, and because he's so wounded, he's on his bottom track for rolling what his AI does, and it got an F. And I didn't know what an F was other than to pay respects, so I had to look it up. And it means fall back. So his morale is broken, he is running from Dogmeat. He fears the best boy. So that does mean that Dogmeat gets a free attack at him with his dog bite at -2 to his skill. So 6s are needed for this. He got a 6. He got a star, which does a quick action, which might be relevant actually, because he hasn't had a turn yet this round, so he's got a quick action move he could use. Also negates 1 armor and does 1 extra damage. So the Super Mutant now has no armor. He has taken 3 damage. The Super Mutant turned his tail and got immediately dog bitten into oblivion. He is gone. So not wishing to look a gift doggo in the mouth, Dogmeat activated. He used his quick action to do a move, which he's allowed to do. He can either prepare, move, or charge. Well, the glare is, you'll have to take my word there. There, you can see it there. So he moved 1 less than normal, so he went down from red to yellow. Then he charged, and for his other action, he's attacking that Super Mutant. Why that one? Because that one's the wounded one. Simple as. So, 8 or under. That would be a 5, which became a 4. 3, 2. Nothing extra though. The star, what does that do? Another quick action, which you can't really use for anything. Oh, actually, I guess he could prepare, but I don't know what that would do, because if the Super Mutant moved away, he'd get a free attack anyway. Let me know, like, the prepare actions, when should they be used? Like, what's the best strat for those? I need some advice on that. Either way, base damage, 2 damage. Super Mutant's got 1 armor, so he's taking 1 damage for sure. And he took full damage, so he's got 2, 3. So that puts him at 5. He has 1 health remaining. The Super Mutant not engaged got selected to go next, and he got another double result on the dice, so 1 action was used to try and do an objective, and the other is to attack. So he moved as his first action to get into contact, interacted with the weapons locker number 4, found a 44 revolver and a bolt action pipe rifle, which are now in his inventory, and then he is firing his hunting rifle into the melee here. Close range, 2 yellow dice, +2 to his skill, forgot about that actually, so that would put his skill at 6. That is a fail plus a quick action, so it's irrelevant. I am curious though, would he have shot his own Super Mutant? Let's say 1, 2 Dogmeat, 3, 4 the Mutant. He would have shot Dogmeat. Okay, fair enough. So now, to end the game, I believe, oh wait no, the Super Mutant engaged with Dogmeat, so has to go. But, 1 last survivor for me over here, and I think it's obvious what she's going to do. So you know the score. She has moved next to that objective. That was an investigation one though, so it needs to be swapped out for an actual one. Let's pick this one and see what it is. So get rid of that, flip that over. A danger and an item. Okay, at least we get to read another danger card before the end. Again, I'm not looking at it till it's in focus. Creature. Draw and resolve a creature card. Ooh, okay. Draw and resolve a creature card. Oh, come on now. The suspense is killing me. What does it say? Come on. Injured, putrid, glowing one. Oh dear. There's a lot of text that's struggling to get into focus. Oh, there we are. Putrid, glowing one lays amongst several dead mutant hounds. They must have been the ones to break its legs. Place putrid, glowing one model at creature's location. It does not affect line of sight or cover and will not move. Resolve the putrid, glowing one's swipe attack on any model that ends its activation within orange and line of sight. Model gains +1. That's super armor. We'll talk about that more when it's super relevant. I do actually have putrid glowing one mini, so I guess I'll go grab that. And it's where the item was, right? So ends its activation. She has another move. She can get away from it. Thank goodness. But first of all, she does get a free item. And her item is a blood pack, which just heals 3 damage. So that's fine. So I guess that's a bit of a spoiler for a miniature that was going to show up in the future, but the glowing one is there. Thankfully, mutant hounds have bitten off his legs, so he can't move. The settler had 1 action left, and so she has moved yellow away, and because she's outside of orange, it won't take a swipe at her. There is a little danger there, but because we're at the end of the game, it doesn't really matter much. It's just down to the super mutant engaged with Dogmeat. See what he does, and then we're done. So the final activation of the game is the super mutant, and he opted to go for the objective at the last minute, which is smart of the AI, honestly. Ignore the dog, because you can't wipe out the survivors at this point. So he has pulled away, and he's going to try and do this, check that, and then move, still not touching Dogmeat, and check that. But that's if he survives trying to escape Dogmeat's bite. The free attack he gets for trying to break combat. -2 to the skill, so it's 6s. That is a quick action, counts as a 1, so it has succeeded with 1 armor break. He only has 1 armor, so the base damage gets through and has killed him. What would he have got? That would have been a danger, and that would have been nothing, so it wouldn't have made a difference. I find these danger cards neat, so let's see what the danger was that he would have had to deal with. Doubts? Where's everybody? Is this all that's left? If there are fewer friendly models within red than enemy models, test charisma. If you pass, no effect. If you fail, I believe that's like paralyze or stun. Okay. Would that have mattered? It would have been equal. 1 ally, 1 enemy. Alright, we'll be back with a recap. So, at the end of the game, that was interesting. Still finding this a very fun game to play against the AI. The AI can be very unpredictable. It seemed to do quite well there. It honestly looked like, because the hunting rifles are just so accurate, and the settlers have such little HP, that it was going to be over super quick in the super mutant's favour. Either way though, because it ended on turn 4, these are all the items gathered by the survivors, so that's 8, and sadly the super mutants just got 3. Do keep in mind though, there was supposed to be 1 extra bog standard super mutant. The mutant hound wasn't meant to be there, but the starter set doesn't have enough miniatures. I'm trying to get my hands on some more super mutants though for the future objectives. So that was Fort Davies, whichever. Tutorial number 2. Tutorial number 3 is that the settlers are trying to get clean water to their settlement, and the super mutants, along with an enslaved tech, are trying to stop them. I'm not sure what new gameplay elements it introduces. Let's see here. Oh, some more searchables. Also, there is set gear, again, for both sides in the next tutorial, so all this gear will not be featured. Some of it might be in the deck again to find, but it's because it's tutorials, it's not like carrying gear across. There are linked scenarios where you can do that. So that was our introduction to searchables, investigation icons, danger cards, creature cards, gathering loot. But we'll see what happens in the future. I hope you enjoyed. Please do subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Check out all the other content I do, and show your support any way you can. It helps keep everything going. See you next time. Ta for now.